Hello Tenno, up here, and today I am sick again. I think it has something to do with me sort of pushing myself a little bit too hard at work, so I'll be sure to be more careful in the future. Yeah, so I almost actually did not upload a video this week because of the fact that I'm sick and also because I sound like this. But who knows, right? It might actually be more appealing. But the thing that really got me to finally just like upload something, which is this video right now, is the fact that I've been uploading like videos every week, sometimes 2 videos a week, sometimes even 3. And it's been like that for the past 6 months, and just like not doing one, it feels kind of weird. So I just decided to make one really quick one. This is not going to be scripted, so do forgive me if I make any mistakes. Hopefully not on the content, but verbal mistakes, like I called Mac a he or stuff like that. Okay, so let's get started. Today we're going to talk about the Simulacrum, because they changed it a little bit, and since I've been doing Warframe research for the past 6 months, this is pretty much like my second home, so their changes will affect me a lot. So the first thing that they change is they have this pause AI button, which is really good. Also the Warfarin Invincibility, which we'll get to, and I feel like they should have included this a long time ago, because these are really good stuff for testing, because the whole point of the Simulacrum is to simulate a battleground where you could test on enemies. So yeah, I'm just really happy that they finally have it. So let's just take a look at what it does. So let's say I have a heavy gunner level 145, and I click pause AI simulate, and what will happen is that enemy will no longer move from its spot, and also it will not attack you. Now, to say that it doesn't move is kind of weird, because if you take a closer look, he does still sort of move a bit. Okay, so it's not exactly like a time stop kind of thing, and if you somehow manage to knock him down or pull him away, you could actually see him constantly reverting to where he was half a second ago. So you actually see some hilarious things sometimes. And yeah, but the whole objective, or the main function of this, is so that you could test your weapon, you could do whatever you want with it, and you could see the damage done while it not being able to kill you. And this is really good, especially if you want to test with squishier frame. So speaking of squishy, so now next thing is that when you come back to your Simulacrum, that option where your previous selection, which is the heavy gunner, is no longer here. And this is actually something that I feel is not really good, because some people like to run like a group of enemies with different selection, and every time they finish testing, they have to come back and resummon and re-click that group of enemies. And in case you guys did not know this, long time ago I used to test with heavy gunners, the corrupted heavy gunners, because they have more health. So yeah, so killing a corrupted heavy gunner is more how do I say, it's more satisfying. It makes more sense. If you could kill a corrupted heavy gunner, you should be able to deal with a lot of the enemies. But it wasn't long that I started changing and do the irate heavy gunner instead. Now the whole reason for this is because of that extra step. I have to click, let's say over here, Oricon, and then click the corrupted heavy gunner instead of just immediately clicking this heavy gunner. Or which is something that I used to do, is I used to scroll all the way over here and then click that heavy gunner, and all this thing takes time. All those extra clicks takes time and effort to just reach. I know what you're thinking, it's just an extra click, but when you do as much research as I do, it could come down to like thousands of clicks. So I try to make things a little bit more efficient for myself, and I went with the irate heavy gunner instead. So the only difference, they still have the same amount of armor. The only difference is that the corrupted heavy gunner has more health. So in terms of damage wise, in terms of figure, you should still see the same amount. So that's why I went with the irate heavy gunner lately instead. Now having to re-click it every single time I come back is one issue. It kind of increases the things that I have to do every single time I want to make a testing. Another thing is that if that heavy gunner did not die, ooh, there you go, there he is, he's still glitching on. If that heavy gunner did not die, I actually have to manually kill it. It's no longer like when I come up to this platform or when I enter the arsenal, the heavy gunner will die itself. It no longer works that way. You actually have to manually kill it, which is again in a way you have more control now because of this, because like for example right now Simulacrum is multiplayer in a way. A full squad can actually come in here, and if your ally were to just come to the arsenal or something like that, it will actually kill whatever you're testing. Even though you're in the field, it will kill the enemy, and that is just not very good. So this allows your allies to do whatever they want in the arsenal, as long as they do not hit the kill button. The enemies in the field will not die. And another good thing about this is that you could actually test skills with different sets of Warframe. So let me just give you an example. Again, the heavy gunner. Now, not all skill actually gets carried forward when you change your Warframe. So for example, this is mag. I'm gonna use magnetize on this. Okay, so I have about 14 seconds. Okay, so let's say I change into limbo. Okay, so even though that 14 seconds has not ended, you can see that the bubble is no longer there. It sort of disappears with mag. But again, not all ability acts that way. So for example, if you have Banshee instead, and you are gonna use the second ability, which is Sauna, I believe. Oh wait, yeah, so the enemy is still there. I don't have to resummon. It takes a little bit of time to get used to. So let's say right over here I do this and really get a lot of spots on him. Okay, I got 2. Anyways, so let's say if I were to go here and change to something else, let's say, I really don't know what to change to, let's say Ember. Okay, and if I were to look at him, you can see the spots are still there, and you should still do the extra damage if you hit those weak spots. So this sort of opens up more possibilities of testing, especially if you have to do it alone. You can now sort of test certain skills with different Warframes on an enemy, which is again pretty good. Okay, so the next thing I want to talk about is Warfarin Invincibility. Now this one, again, it's something that I feel like it should be around for a real long time, since this whole place, you're supposed to use it test, right? So previously, when you can't pause AI and you want to fight like a heavy gunner with a really squishy frame, you still need some form of CC to prevent yourself from dying. So right now you do not actually need that. You can just go in by selecting Warframe Invincibility, and let's just see how this works. Yeah, so I believe the enemy is still there, and you can see that my health bar and my armor, I mean my shield, is now in gray. So I will not die, and he could do whatever he wants with me, and yeah, I don't even get knocked down, which is really good. So yeah, again, really good thing. I actually made a video in the past on how to be invincible in the Simulacrum so that you can test squishy frame, but I guess that is no longer required. Just so you guys know, is basically bringing forth Nidus's passive to a different Warframe, and it's kind of cool actually. So yeah, so let's say this. Okay, now the next thing I want to talk about is pausing in the Simulacrum. In the past, you could just click escape and the enemy would actually get paused, but now it's no longer the case. Even though you click escape, the enemy is actually still firing at you. So let's see if I could actually die while I'm pausing. So I'm gonna remove the Warframe Invincibility, and then I'm gonna pause right here. Okay, he should start. There you go. So immediately he knocked me down and shoot me. So he does not pause, and yeah, and I could die from just clicking escape. Now this is a little bit of a problem because sometimes when you're testing stuff, things happen. You have to go to pee, you know, nature calls. Sometimes your mom calls. Sometimes you just want to take a short break, or you want to escape to, you know, look up things at wiki or stuff. So yeah, this is no longer something they could do now. What else? Okay, so they also have the friendly fire button, and this is also kind of cool because what this does is it allows you to attack or test your skills on allies. Now again, I believe not all skills actually works on allies on Warframes, but the majority does, and you could really try them out on your friend and see how it reacts to Warframes in real situation. I don't think the damage and stuff is that of the one that you see in Conclave. So this is actually more of what you'll do if you get like sort of like radiation proc or something like that, and it could be kind of hilarious. Now there is a bug in that, which I believe is a bug because it just doesn't feel like it's supposed to do that. If your ally has a sentinel on and you happen to do damage to that ally and hit the sentinel, that sentinel will hold a grudge on you. He will always be attacking you, and even if you come back to remove the friendly fire, whatever you do, that sentinel will still keep shooting you. And what I do is really just kill the sentinel instead. Now I think you could also resummon the sentinel, and that should refresh his aggro. But yeah, just so you guys know. Another thing that I like to say is also something that I believe is a bug, is when you summon enemies. So let's just take something, for example, let's take the butchers for example. If you were to summon, let's say 10 butcher, okay, and then you simulate them, so what happens is the game will register in whatever data form that you have summoned 10 previously. And then if you come back and you want to summon more, so let's say you click, you realize that you can only summon an extra 10 because previously you summoned 10 and it could only give you up to 20 enemies at a time. So now you can only summon another 10. But the bug here is that the memory of this thing only holds the previous summon, okay? Because previously, the moment you come back to this platform or the moment you click on this panel, all of the enemies will die, and now it's no longer the case. So when you come back and you click on, let's say again the butcher, you can summon only 10 because it only gives you up to 10, up to 20. But what happened is right now you have 20, and when you come here it only remembers what you did last time, which is you summoned 10. So you can actually summon another 10. Do you see where I'm going with this? So you can summon another 10, and you can go in and you can summon another 10, and you can just keep summoning and summoning and summoning, and eventually the whole entire map will be full of whatever that you're summoning. So you could actually see this happening. So right now there is a lot of enemies. Even you could actually even see that heavy gunner that I summoned previously that I did not kill is still there. So yeah, so basically this is what happens, and how do I say this? This is pretty much the bug where it allows you to summon more than what I believe the game wants you to have. So let's just be a little bit naughty and let's just try some stuff. Like for example, if you have a Nidus, where's my Nidus? Oh, there it is. Okay, you could actually make a gigantic meatball. I actually don't know if this will work. This is my first time trying. Okay, that's not a very big meatball, but still, you could. I'm sorry, I'm just having some fun. Yeah, so who knows, right? Maybe you could make... Holy shit. Oh no, ran out of energy. I did not poo those people. Yeah, anyway, this is what you could do now. You could even do a gigantic meatball in a vortex. So let's see that. I know I'm sort of like wasting your time trying out stuff for myself. I'm sorry. I probably would edit this out. Maybe. I don't know. So let's see what this has. Ooh my god, I almost died. My range is not that high. Let's see if I can do a further one. Ooh. Okay. So yeah, just so you guys know, you can actually summon more than trendy now by doing what I just did. So that's pretty much all for this video on the Simulacrum. I hope you guys have a fun time testing stuff and also have a great time playing Warframe. I will see you in the next video, and we're gonna talk about some pretty interesting stuff, I think. Bye bye.